Hey y'all, happy second week of Black History Month. Welcome to another episode of the Melanin Mayhem podcast, hosted by me, your favorite country girl, Renee Davis. If this is your first time tuning in to the Mayhem, welcome and come right on in. Sit yourself down a spell. I ain't gonna hold you long. I'm just gonna hold you long enough to get some of this good storytelling up in you and send you right on along your way. And to my beloved Noir Nation, hey fam, how your mama Neil? Oh, I'm so glad it's our time to live and love together for a little piece of a minute. You know what I'm talking about? Listen, do y'all know somebody that's just hella aggressive and got a short ass temper? You do? Well, you might want to listen close to today's tale of fuckery, foolishness, and niggatry. Cause woo child, do I have a tale for you today. Y'all know Cain killed Abel. That's a story that we know and has been replicated again and again and again. But it's some niggas out here that put that ooh wee on it. And this story I'm about to tell you is the of the Cain and Abel tales. Baby, all I can say is that there are some very dark souls on this planet with us. And we have got to stop ignoring the big red flags on the people that we love because it can have deadly consequences. Today, I'm going to come at you a little bit differently because while this story is definitely audacious and the prolificness of it all is there, but instead of killing random victims, our mayhem maker took out his own blood and then some in one motherfucking whop. This is a real, true, tragic story about one single family. So I want to be clear. Our mayhem maker, he is the villain of this story. Him and him only, baby. Everybody else is either a victim or an innocent bystander that he tried to get caught up. And my heart goes out to them. And you know what? I have the utmost respect for them all. Period. So I'm going to tell this story with the sensitivity it deserves because this family is still yet going through. Noir Nation, y'all come sit with me for a minute as I bring to the front of the congregation an old nasty piece of work. And I'm going to share with you the story of the massacre on Lester Street. This week's Melanin Mayhem maker, Mr. Jessie Dotson Jr., aka the Lester Street Murderer. All right, y'all, let's get right on into it. Let me introduce you to the Dotson family of Memphis, Tennessee. They are big old Southern families. You know, the kind where there's a lot of siblings and cousins that like to hang out and enjoy each other's company. I'm talking about one of them kind of families. Now, the patriarch of the family is Mr. Jessie Dotson Sr., and the matriarch is Priscilla Shaw. Now, from the things that I read, I don't think that they were still together, but they were there for the kids. And like I said, they were a nice sized family. It was too many of them to name all of them, but I got the main characters that were front and center for this story. Our mayhem maker, Mr. Jessie Dotson Jr., the namesake of Jessie Dotson Sr., and the subject of today's podcast, he was born December 19th, 1974. And now when I'm going to talk about the daddy, I'm just going to call him Senior, okay? Now, our mayhem maker, Jessie Dotson Jr., he got some siblings, and I'm talking about a heap of them. But again, we only going to focus on a couple of them. He got some brothers, Cecil Dotson Sr. and William Waddell, and he's got a sister named Nicole Dotson who has like 4 kids, right? Now, the brother Cecil Dotson Sr., he also got some children. I'm talking about a heap of them. 5 beautiful chocolate drops. Now, Cecil Dotson and his girl Marissa, their little family had only lived on Lester Street for about 4 or 5 months. And word on the curb is that Cecil might have had some affiliations with a gang, but he wasn't out here wilding out or nothing like that because Cecil had a whole family. Well, actually, he had a couple of families. You see, him and his fiancee, 30-year-old Marissa Williams, they got 4 children together. 9-year-old Cecil Jr., 5-year-old Cedric, 2-year-old Cecil II, and 2-month-old Sanaya. But you see, old Cecil, he also got a 4-year-old named Samario with this chick named Erica Smith. Y'all did the math. Maybe Cecil and Marissa was on a break. Y'all know how this shit happened in our community. Either way, Cecil was a good dude and a good daddy to all his kids. You can't ask no more than that. Him and Marissa was making it work. Jessie Jr. and Cecil and they daddy, Senior, you see they worked at an apartment complex as like the maintenance men. Jessie and Senior, they did the painting and Cecil did the repairs. Well, Jesse, he lived with his sister over at the Goodwill Village Apartments in Memphis. He paroled out to her house when he got out of prison in August of 2007. Now, you might be wondering what old Jesse did to go to prison. Well, you know I got you. You see, Jesse went to prison for second-degree murder in 1994 and did 14 years to the dope. Oh, yes. You see, Jesse got a little bit of a temper and a big-ass chip on his shoulder, which is always a horrible combination, right? Because you see, in Jesse's mind, his family didn't do all that they should have did when it came to his incarceration. Oh no, Jesse felt that they should have done more. Specifically, they should have visited him more. Jesse wanted them to be front and center every time the visitation doors open. Like these folks ain't got a whole ass job and lives and shit that ain't got nothing to do with being at the law enforcement center. Sir, you did damn crime. It's your time to do alone. You better be glad a motherfucker came up and did what they did when they did what they did. Ungrateful bastard. I digress. Now, Jesse and Senior, they go to work one day to make a little change, but the plan that day was to leave early because Cecil was going to put a little something on the grill. You know how we are when folk going to put something on the grill, right? So Senior dropped Jesse off at home, and then he says that he'll see them later at Cecil's house, right? Well, Cecil and William, the other brother, they go to pick up Jesse and they head back to Cecil's house, and they're going to get the grill crunk up and they're going to watch the game. Okay. So Senior get to Cecil's house around 3-4 o'clock that day, and as he perusing through the house, he happens to see a powder blue revolver. He come to find out later that the gun belonged to Jesse, but he ain't think too much about it. Niggas and guns, it happens, right? Well, Cecil, on the other hand, was a little bit pissed because the gun was just sitting on the counter, and Cecil got kids, right? So he put the gat up so that none of his children fucked around and got a hold to it. And he probably had a couple of words with Jesse about stop being so damn careless around my babies. Okay, brothers being brothers, that shit happens. Well, they watching the game. They get ready to crank up the grill. But it's getting a little late in the day. It's about 6:30, and the grill and the food still ain't ready yet. So Senior is like, check this out. I'm going to holler at y'all. I'm going to go on ahead and pick me up a little something. I'm going on to the house. And they was like, all right, Pops. And he dip out, like I said, around by 6:30. That leaves Jesse, Cecil, and William, the brothers. They still chilling or whatever. You know what I'm saying? William, their other brother, he says that he also saw Jesse with a gun, but it was black and silver. And the only reason he remembered that was because Jesse usually have a powder blue revolver. But that wasn't it, right? But again, he ain't think nothing of it. The little brother William, he ends up leaving a little later on. So now it's just Jesse and Cecil kicking it. Well, later on that night, one of the homies just so happened to have gotten out of jail that day, right? This a nigga named Hollis Seals. So he come over to Cecil's house and he hooks up with Jesse and Cecil and they bop out to a few spots like niggas do when they come home from jail. So, Hollis could get himself right. They out in the streets making stop. Well, Jesse got a stop he need to make too. He want to go by his old lady house. She stay with her mama. Well, when they get there, Jesse tell her that he want to talk to her mama. And his girl say, my mama ain't here right now. Why Jesse didn't believe her? Like, what? So what did Jesse do? He go in this woman's house and look from room to room to make sure that the mama really wasn't there. Like, this should let you know this nigga is definitely throwed the fuck off. Cause who the fuck does that? I wish a nigga would come walking through my damn house looking for me after my daughter done told him I ain't home. Anywho, they leave and they continue they roll through the hood, right? Now, mind you, This is Saturday night into Sunday morning. So we're going into March 2nd, 2008 now, right? The night is going on. Like I said, it's after midnight now. So it's bright and early Sunday morning, right? And the boys are still like riding through the hood, doing what the fuck they do. Their next stop is a little shouty house. See, one of Cecil's little friends is named Stacy Young, and she said that they pulled up to her house just a little after midnight. They chop it up for a little bit, and then Cecil tells Stacy that he's gonna drop Jessie and Hollis off, but he gonna be back. I know what my grandmama told me, honey. Ain't nothing but legs in the Waffle House open after midnight, honey. Okay, Cecil. So they leave, and Stacy hit Cecil up again around about 1 o'clock, and he like, I'm still coming, baby. I'm still out here dropping my peoples off. And so Stacy is like, whatever. And he said, baby, I'm for real. I'm coming. But he never shows up. Now, at some point while they out riding, they pick up a little shouty for Hollis, the dude that just got out of jail. I mean, my man did just get out of the joint. Of course, it's time to play hide the sausage. You know what I'm saying? But in the meantime, in between time, they was taking the scenic route for these drop-offs because the next spot that they hit ends up being this lady named Erica Smith house. Now, Cecil, baby mama. I'm not talking about his fiance with the 4 kids. Erica Smith is his baby mama to his outside baby, right? So, okay, he over at her house, and they whoop-de-woo for a little minute, and then they pull off again. Now, Erica say that she called Cecil around 1:15. They talked for a little minute. She probably was asking him, was he coming back? Cecil probably be lying, talking about, yeah, babe, I'm gonna be back. And so they hang up, and then Erica calls back about 1:30. Cecil say he's still out and about, and Erica's probably pissed at this point, you know what I'm saying? She calls back at 2 o'clock, but this time the mood has changed a little bit because Cecil really ain't talking to her on the phone because he too busy arguing with Jessie. They cussing and carrying on like any minute now they finna start moving some furniture and shit. But here's the thing. Erica didn't talk to Cecil no more after that phone call at 2 o'clock in the morning, Sunday morning, March 2nd. Now, Jessie's girlfriend said that he popped up at her house at about 4:30. She was putting her son to sleep, and so she didn't really see Jessie. She just heard him. And she also heard him in the bathroom running water for a little minute. She ends up falling asleep. When she get up the next morning, Jessie and her get into a little bit, and then he dipped. Her mama gets up and she started tripping because who the fuck fucked up my rug in the bathroom? The bathroom rug got bleach wasted on it. Jesse was the only one that was in that bathroom. I wonder why he needed bleach. Now, according to Erica, her and Cecil was supposed to go to church that morning, so she called him at 7 a.m. and he didn't answer. So she just assumed, okay, they had a late night, we not going to church, and she just kind of go back to bed, right? The day goes on, and around about 3 o'clock, she run by Cecil's house. I mean, her son is over there, so there's nothing strange about this. She blew on the horn. Nobody came out. So she get out her car and she kind of knock on the storm door. You know, that door before the main door. She knocks on the storm door, but nobody answers. It's real quiet. Now, she can see through the storm door, and she can see that the inner door is kind of cracked open a little bit. So, she thinking maybe they all ran out for a minute. No big deal. Erica just leaves. But mind you, Erica keeps on calling Cecil throughout the day, and he's not answering her. And that's odd as fuck. Now, for Senior, on the other hand, it's a regular Sunday morning. He get up like normal, and he go head over to pick up Jessie from Nicole's house. But when he get there this particular morning, Jessie is not there, and Nicole said that she ain't seen him. He ain't been home. So Senior say, you know what? I ain't got time for this bullshit. Jessie ain't said nothing to me about not working today, but I'm also not finna let Junior fuck up my goddamn money. So he go on to work. He'll deal with Jessie later, right? Nicole go back to sleep, and later on that morning, she get woke up to the sounds of Jessie putting hands on his girlfriend, Sheila. Now, he just fucking her up in the front seat of her own damn car, bright and early Sunday morning, because mind you, it's about 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, right? So the day is going on, and later on that day, Senior gets a call from Jessie. Jessie say, Dad and my girl were tripping, you know what I'm saying, and she hid my phone. And so Senior was like, Okay, whatever. That's your money you fucking up. But Jesse never did go into detail about why he didn't come to work, and he also didn't talk about what him and Cecil and them had got up to last night. Now, Sunday is gone. It's now Monday, March 3rd, 2008. Erica been calling Cecil non-stop, and this nigga still ain't answering the phone. So what we do? Bright and early, she pull up on that nigga job. Like, nigga, where you been? But when she get there, the job say, we ain't seen Cecil and he ain't called in. Erica know instantly, oh no, something is wrong, cause this nigga don't miss no work. He got too many children. Something is definitely wrong. So she immediately start calling up the family, cause remember, they tight like that, right? First call, his brother Jesse. Jesse was with him last night. He might know something. And if he don't know something, he need to go over there and see what's going on at his brother's house. So she makes up her mind she heading back to Cecil's house after she has raised the alarm with the family, and on the drive back to Cecil's house, she calls 911 and tells them that somebody needs to go do a welfare check. When she get there, she park, and by the time she really just get herself situated, the police pull up and they go in. Oh my lord, y'all, what happens next is just heart-shattering. Now, before I get into that, let me go back to Senior. It's Monday morning, right? And for Senior, his regular routine is to go pick up Jesse, 8 o'clock sharp. He did it. Jesse jumped in the car. They went to the job and busted it out to about 11 o'clock till it started raining. The whole time they working together, Jesse still ain't saying shit. Like this nigga is Beyonce 2003. He is speechless than a motherfucker. So, okay, Senior don't think nothing of it. He drops Jesse off at home after they finish working. But then later on that day, Jesse called his daddy and tell him that Cecil's other baby mama, Erica, she want him to go over to Cecil's house because she went over there to pick up her son, but the door was cracked open and she was scared to go in because she thought something was wrong. What? Let me get this straight. Because I'm sure this is what Senior's got going through his mind. It's going through mine. Why you calling me? Why you don't just go over there? That's your brother. You gang related and all that shit. You so hard. You know what I'm saying? Why the fuck you calling your daddy to go check on your brother? If she called you to tell you something was wrong, why the fuck you on the phone calling me? Why you ain't already at your brother's house? All of these questions I would have been throwing out to my son. But you know, if this woman says she too scared to go in and get her baby out the house, again, why you on the phone with me? Y'all get the fuck out of here. Something ain't right. But Cecil is Senior's son too. So after Jesse called him with this bullshit, Senior gets up and go see what the fuck is going on. And when he pull up on Cecil's house, all he see is flashing lights. I'm talking that bitch lit up like Christmas. So he run up and try to see what's going on, but the police won't let him get through. Now, you know it's bad when they hold you back. Erica's still there. She done got on the line and called up everybody on the family tree. And everybody is headed to Cecil's house. Like, the entire family is there. Nicole is there with some of her cousins. And don't nobody know what the fuck is going on. Now, Officer Randall Davis, of no relation, he is one of the first police officers that roll up on the house. And instantly, he knows something is wrong. There's that smell. That smell, they say, mean ain't nothing good about to come out what we finna go into. And the front door is open. This is Memphis 2008 in the hood. Ain't no front door standing open. So Officer Davis go in and he instantly see a black man lying on the floor beside the TV. Deader than a motherfucker. Oh shit. So he keep going. Y'all seen the cop shows on TV? He gotta clear the house. So he go around the corner from the man in the TV room. And it looks like maybe now he's in the living room. And there are 3 adults in this room. All 3 of them gone to the upper room. There's a man and he's like kneeling face down on the sofa. And then there's a woman and she's sitting against the sofa. And then there's another woman that's sitting on the sofa kind of slumped over the woman that's on the floor. And they all on the stairway to heaven. So Officer Davis, he keep on walking, and because you know he ain't nothing he can do for these people. They gone on, and he come up on a bathroom. He pulled a shower curtain back. It's a kid, and the kid got a knife sticking out his head, clearly dead. Oh my Lord Jesus! It hurt me to even read this shit. I can't even imagine being there in real life and seeing it in real time. And just as Officer Davis is about to have that feeling of despair that comes on you when it's the death of a child, Damn if that baby didn't start moving. His eyes started twitching. Oh my God, this child is alive. He's moving his hand, he's turning his head, and then the full picture of this child with a whole knife sticking out the right side of his head and all this blood. But my Lord, he's still alive. Lord Jesus, get the ambulance in here now. Let's go. And Officer Davis, he keep walking. He got to keep clearing his house. Who else in here, right? He walked down the hallway, and it's a bedroom to his left. Damn, another dead kid. He go into another bedroom. Here go two more dead kids in here. And then he can hear somebody shouting in another part of the house that they got a baby that's still alive. But it's bad. It's real bad. What the fuck is the ambulance? Y'all, it looked like a literal bloodbath in this house. Everywhere you look, there is drying blood, pools of blood, sprays of blood all on the wall. 'Cause this shit didn't just happen. This blood is congealed. These bodies are cold. What the fuck happened here and when did it happen? Now, while all this is going on inside the house, there is a real crowd of people outside. And mind you, this crowd includes all of the family. And they asking the hood reporters what they know. Because y'all know the hood reporters know everything. But in this case, all they know is that they ain't seen Cecil. Like, for real, legit, ain't nobody seen Cecil or his family all weekend long. One of the neighbors is like, hey, I've been feeding their dog all weekend. So Senior don't know what to do. It don't sound good. And he can't help. So what he decides to do is he gonna go over to his brother's house and try to figure something out. And he gets to his brother's house and he's sitting there and he's trying to figure out what's going on. And while they're sitting there trying to figure this shit out, the news is on. And baby, the news headline is a massacre on Lester Street, a sextuplet murder, and a triple attempted murder. What? Senior and his family are sitting here looking at the TV, I know about to lose their mind. This is not what you expect to see. I just left there. They're talking about a murder scene at my son's house? Who dead? Oh my God. I can't even imagine finding out that there has been a killation at my son's house. My son's house of 7 family members, all of my beloved little ones. And the news is talking about 6 people being killed at my son's house. And I can't find my son or none of my grandchildren. I would lose my motherfucking mind. To find this out on the news is crazy as fuck. So now the street committee is on fire. Like, oh my God, the stories are swirling. Baby, everybody know what's going on now. First, somebody said it was a gas leak. Everybody in the house was dead because the gas was leaking. But, it's too much activity at Cecil's house, baby. They done put that crime scene tape up. There wasn't no gas leak. It's some more shit done went down. Well, then, I told y'all Cecil's supposed to have been gang related a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So then they started saying it was a gang hit. But no, the gangs was like, nope, not us. That was the homie. We might have had some misunderstandings once or twice, you know what I'm saying? But nothing that'll bring the crime scene tape out. Don't be putting this shit on us. So what the fuck is going on? Well, I tell you what, Nate, where the fuck is Jessie? Well, I can tell you where Jessie at. He around. I mean, at this point, like I said, the whole family is at Cecil's house. They trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. Jesse walking around erratic than a motherfucker. So he walk up on his sister Nicole and he like, hey, don't say nothing to the media. What? Why? Jesse say, don't talk to them because they gonna blame it on me because I got a criminal background. I'm gonna just let that sit there for a minute. Blame you for what, Jesse? You know what happened? Jesse say he don't know shit. Cecil just dropped me off at my girl house. I ain't seen them since. So after a while, Jesse don't want to be at the scene no more. So he called over to his girlfriend's house and his mama comes to pick him up. And she says that he looking all upset and he's shaking and shit, which is to be expected if some serious shit has just happened to your sibling, right? And so she's asking him, what happened, Jesse? Why all these police over here? What's going on? And all Jesse told her was, something happened to my brother. And that's all he said. Okay. So the next day, The police interview Jesse, and he tells them that Cecil picked him up because he was grilling over at his house. And then Holly Seal showed up later on that night. He had just got out of jail, and they rolled out to a few spots. They got a little weed, and they rolled out a little more. And then Cecil dropped Jesse off at his girlfriend's house, and he hadn't seen nobody since then. So the police was like, okay, well, can you think of anybody who would want to hurt your brother and his family? Jesse immediately said it was probably the gang. Jesse is really trying to push this gang hit shit. Anyone who will listen to him, all he got is gang, gang, the gang did it. Well, I don't know, Noir Nation. Y'all might not know many gang members. I have had occasion to be in the company of in my formative years. And one thing that I do know is, yes, they will get at you. They will handle some business, but they're going to handle it with you. They don't generally kill women and children. It don't really happen like that. Now, of course, there is a random drive-by where, the whole family might have happened to have been in the wrong place at the wrong time. But just actual factual killing of women and children, that's really not gang activity. But Jesse wants everybody to believe that the gangs did this shit. So the police listened. They put the family, including Jesse, in protective custody. And, just in case there really is some gang shit, we're going to be on the safe side. And I'm actually fucking with that. It is good to hear that they were taking all of the precautions to make sure that this family was safe, right? Mind you, this is like March 5th, 6th when all of this is going on. So they're in protective custody, but they're still moving about the world, doing what they do. And so this particular day, they happen to be, Nicole and her family were at her sister's house, right? They're grieving. Of course, the family wants to try to come together and mourn together, right? Well, while Nicole and her family, and Jesse's over there too, Nicole's cell phone rings. Guess who brings Nicole her cell phone so that she could see that somebody appeared to be calling from her house that they both got keys to? Now, Nicole didn't see the call that was coming through, and she wasn't the one that answered the phone. Jesse did, but he said he couldn't quite make out what they were saying, and he'd think it was a dude, though. Now, what the fuck is this? Ain't nobody supposed to be at Nicole's house because everybody is with Nicole. And of course, here go Jesse pushing that it must be somebody from the gang. So Nicole just sitting there trying to make sense of this when the cell phone ring again. And it's her house phone on the caller ID. She gets scared, right? Because, you don't see your house phone calling you when ain't nobody supposed to be at the house, right? So her and her other brother, William, they get up and they're going to go down to the police department and make a report, right? While they're handling all that, Nicole get a call from that same sister's house that she just left, and they saying that some shit is going down with Jesse, and somebody need to come see about this nigga because he is crashing the fuck out. Nicole is like, well, wait a minute, what the fuck is going on? Next thing she know, her phone is ringing again, and it's Jesse on the phone, crashing out in person with her. All he keeps saying is, they gonna put this shit on me, man. Just bury me and put me with my brother, man. I ain't got time for this shit, man. Fuck this shit, man. They ain't finna send me back to jail, man. Fuck this shit. Nigga, what? All this hooping and hollering that Jesse doing, but he ain't said shit about Cecil or his family or what the fuck happened last night. So while he on the phone with Nicole, again, he over at her sister's house and, he's performing like he's putting on a full ass show. Nicole's cousins say that while they was over at the police department, Jesse woke her up with all the hollering and crying up here threatening suicide and shit. This nigga done got hold of Cecil's gun some kind of way and he got it to his head talking about he wasn't finna go back to jail. He just gonna end it all. Wait a minute. This don't make no sense, Jesse. Why you so amped up? What you hiding, nigga? Well, I don't know how and I don't know when, but some kind of way it came to the attention of the police officers that Jesse was over there at the cousin's house acting like a guilty motherfucker, and so they pulled up on that ass. The cousin come outside and she was like, Jesse don't feel like talking right now and he say he is not up for receiving company. Y'all can come back later. And so the police was like, no, we finna handle this little business right now. So they get the cousin to call Jesse on her phone in the house. And so they chop it up for about 5 or 10 minutes on the phone and they convince Jesse that everything gonna be all right if he just let them in the house and let them talk to him face to face. And so Jesse eventually does. Officer Lanise Stephanie goes in and Jesse starts telling him how he ain't with this shit. The news got his face plastered all over the screens talking about he a person of interest, and Jesse say he didn't do it. That's all he wants them to know is I didn't do it. It wasn't me. And so they talk and they try to get Jesse calmed down, and they eventually take him into custody and take him on down to the police station. Well, while all this is going on, the 9-year-old that had the knife in his head, I'm talking about Cecil Jr., he has miraculously lived, y'all, and he is able to talk to the police. Praise God, honey. And when the police get there to take his statement, he implicates his uncle Jesse as the person who hurt him and his family. And the cops get it on tape. So now it's time to go back and talk to Jesse punk ass. And of course, Jesse is denying everything like Peter did Jesus. So then they played the tape of his 9-year-old nephew saying Uncle Junior hurt us. Game over, nigga. Kendrick Lamar. Now this nigga at this point decides to confess to it all. And then after he get through unburdening himself, he want to talk to his mama. And the officers, they got a heart. They bring his mama right on in and he confesses to her too. Cain killed Abel mama and I killed Cecil and his family and they friends. Nigga, what? Mm-hmm. So after Jesse got done ending his brother's life and everybody in that house that night, he says that he hopped on his nephew's bike and he rode it to his girlfriend's house. He said that him and Cecil had got into an argument on the way back to Cecil's house and it kept going. And he says Cecil reached for his shotgun, but he didn't point it at him. He didn't try to shoot him or nothing like that. But Jesse was like, ugh, how dare you? And he decided to unload his clip on Cecil. And since there were witnesses, he needed to take out everybody in the house so that nobody could tell what he'd done. Oh my God. Jesse is formally arrested and booked on murder charges. Now, the crime scene techs have had a chance to go over everything and the autopsies have been done. And come to find out, Jesse ass done staged the crime scene. I'm talking hella staged. You see, Holly Seals, he had been shot 3 times. Once in the mouth that took out his teeth and his jaw and came out his neck. He got shot once in the chest and once in the armpit. Tell me why Jesse done pulled that man pants down around his ankles. Like, what the fuck was that about? Let me tell you something. This is sad because Holly Seals had just got out the joint and got sent to the ancestral plane all in the same goddamn day. This is one of those rare occasions where it might have been better for him to stay in jail. He'd probably still be with us today. Then Marissa Williams, Cecil's old lady, she got shot 5 times. Once to the left side of her head, one to the right side of her chest, one in her leg, one in her right thigh, and one in the gut. Her body was moved after she died too. Then there was Shandiri Robinson. That was Holly Seals' little something spicy to have that night. You know what I'm saying? Play hide the sausage with. She had been shot 4 times. 1 time to the right thigh, 1 time to the left knee, 1 time to her left calf, and 1 time to the left thigh. Her pants was also pulled down past her knees. But check this little bullshit out. Why they found a little bitty bag with about 3 or 4 pieces of crack rock placed outside of her vagina. Outside of her vagina. What the fuck? Of all the places to find a little baggie of crack, you ain't gonna find it outside of the vagina. You might have found it in a pocket. You might have found it on the table. You might have found it in a stem. But what you didn't find was my pants down to my knees and a little baggie of crack that I ain't smoked. That's just not how they do that. That's staged like a motherfucker. Now, Cecil, he had 8 bullets to the body. 1 to the head that fractured his jaw, 1 in his neck, 1 in his chest, 1 in his right thigh, 2 in his left thigh, 1 in his left leg, and 1 in his foot. And he was also posed to be kneeling over the sofa. Like what? 2-year-old Cecil II died of multiple sharp stab wounds to the head, body, and he had 7 stab wounds just in his head alone. And 4-year-old Samario, he had blunt force trauma to the head and multiple stab wounds to his head, his neck, his hands, and in his chest. The stab wound to his chest, It went all the way through his little body. Oh my God. The blood evidence didn't match none of these people. Like how they were posed, the blood evidence didn't match. Everybody had been moved. Somebody clearly didn't think about forensics and thought that they were going to be smarter than the police. You're not. Now, at the hospital, the surviving children are in terrible shape. Prayers are going up because it is not looking good. 9-year-old Cecil Jr., he had a severely fractured skull, and large pieces of his skull were just beat in. And then there's that steak knife that he had sticking out of his head, along with a whole bunch of cuts and scrapes all over his body. And then 5-year-old Cedric, he was semi-comatose when they brought him in. And when you looked at his injuries, it looked like somebody had took a board and just beat him. I'm talking he had multiple fractures to his face, the lower part of his skull, a fractured nose. He had stab wounds in his eye, his forehead, and his neck. The baby had a bruised skull. And then the baby, 2-month-old Samaya, oh my Lord, she had a big ass cut down to the white meat on her scalp that had her skull showing. And then on the right side of her skull, it was like crushed. Like this poor baby's brain is just bruised and beat up, and she's been stabbed. Like, who the fuck does this to an infant? She ain't seen shit. And if she did, she can't say shit. I mean, I hope the fires of hell are burning bright and strong for whoever the nigga is that did this shit. Well, let me tell you about that. We got Jessie. Jessie done confessed. Only thing that's left to do now is to build this case and go to trial. And to trial they did. And the prosecution, oh, they had a shitload of witnesses and experts to testify about the blood and the forensics and the cops that did the investigating and the family giving their accounts of what had happened when. But the star witness was 9-year-old Cecil Jr. By the time of the trial, he had underwent so many surgeries, but him and his little brother was back in school, and the baby was thriving. Thank you, Jesus. So many blessings. Ooh, Lord, don't make me testify up in here. Kind of like how Junior testified that he had been in his sister's room watching TV, and then he heard a gunshot. He got up and he went to go see what happened. He said he saw a man already on the floor bleeding. His Uncle Jesse had a gun pointed at his daddy's face, and then the next thing he knew, sparks and fire was coming out the gun, and his daddy was down. Cecil Jr., he peeked again, and then he saw his Uncle Jesse shoot at a woman that was sitting on the end of the sofa. He said a woman kept telling his uncle that she loved him. Please don't kill me. But Uncle Jesse kept right on shooting. And so the little boy, Cecil Jr., he runs back to his sister's room. He say he can hear footsteps coming down towards the hallway. Next thing you know, his Uncle Jesse standing in the doorway asking him what he doing. Uncle Jesse holding a knife in his hands. He said his Uncle Jesse came over and just cut him on the neck. So then he told his uncle, Uncle, I love you. Please don't hurt me. And his Uncle Jesse said, no, you don't. And then his 2-year-old brother started crying. And then Uncle Jesse told the 2-year-old, don't worry about it. You ain't gonna get hurt. Cecil Jr. said that he tried to call 911, but Uncle Jesse asked him what he was doing. And when he said that he was trying to call the police for help, he said Uncle Jesse told him that if he did that, he would kill his mama and daddy and all his friends. So Cecil Jr. said, well, Uncle Jesse, can I go to the bathroom? And he said Uncle Jesse made him put his head in the tub instead, and then he started stabbing him. And Cecil Jr. tried to block the stabs as best he could to his chest, but that left his head wide open. Uncle Jesse took that opportunity to stab him in his head and leave him for dead. But he wasn't dead. He saw his mama come up and tell Jesse that she did not want to die. He said Uncle Jesse asked her, where is Cecil's cell phone and his car keys? And his mama told him they in the car. And then Uncle Jesse told her, well, sorry, 'cause I ain't let your husband or his friends get away with it or these kids. And then Cecil see his mama fall to the ground. Then Uncle Jesse went down the hallway with a trash bag and another knife. He went in his sister's room and then he heard more screaming. Then he heard Uncle Jesse yelling, "Shut up!" And then Uncle Jesse kept walking back and forth down the hallway getting more knives. And then Cecil said he started getting sleepy. And when he woke up, the police and the firemen were there. Oh my Jesus. Cecil Jr. said it wasn't nobody in there but his uncle. Nobody helped his uncle do any of this. He did it all by himself. Cecil Jr.'s little brother Cedric was also a star witness. You remember, little Cedric wasn't but 5 at the time of the massacre. He said that his Uncle Jesse stabbed him in the nose, in the forehead, and in the wrist, and that he was the only one in there doing all that stabbing. Oh, my Lord, the counseling these children gonna need, Jesus. Ooh, I need the therapy of it all. And then there was the defense's time to put on their show. And what they said was that Jesse was there, but he was a victim. Jesse was a victim too. You see, he was there and then he was in the back of the house when he heard gunshots. So he hid under a bed till it was all over. And when he came out, everybody was dead. So he jumped on his nephew's bike and got the hell on and went over to his girlfriend's house where he threw up in the bathroom and then cleaned himself up with bleach because he cleaned like that. And the reason he didn't call the police for any type of help or anything, well, that's because he was in a gang. And when you're in a gang, you don't call the police. Oh, but you a scary ass nigga in a gang hiding up under a bed. Okay, make it make sense. And then Jesse said about the confession, he said the only reason that he did that confession was because he was exhausted and emotional. And he had told them 100 times that he didn't do it, but they wouldn't listen to it. And yeah, he didn't tell nobody that he thought his brother then was deader than a motherfucker. He did actually go on with life. He went over to his people's house. He went out to eat. He went to work. He did all that shit, but he didn't say nothing about what was going on at his brother's house. Cause that's, I guess, what a G do, huh? And yeah, he told a big bald face ass lie to his mama when he told her that he killed her son and her grandchildren and their friends. But he telling the truth now on the stand. Let me tell you something. It took the jury less than 2 hours to convict Jesse's punk ass of 6 counts of premeditated first-degree murder and 3 counts of attempted first-degree murder. Serve his monkey ass right. Give him some more time. Come on, jury. Let him cook. They gave that nigga a death sentence for every murder. Clock that shit, baby. That's 6 death sentences. And they were still cooking. Oh, they went through with that ass because then they gave him another 40 years for each attempted murder to be served consecutively after them goddamn death sentences were served. That's right, nigga. If Jesus resurrect your ass like Lazarus 6 motherfucking times, we still got your ass for another 120 years. And you gonna serve every last one of them days. Jesse's execution date was set for March the 2nd, 2012, which was literally 4 years to the day that he turned Lester Street into the final resting place for 6 people. Now, the remaining 3 children, they went to stay with their maternal grandmother. I mean, they're orphans. Their mother is dead. Their father is dead. You know, grandmama testified that, she was struggling something serious. Financially, she had lost her job. Mentally, they were all in counseling because they all fucked up. And thankfully, the community did try to help. They raised some money. They raised about $139,000 to try to help with the expenses. But y'all know kids are expensive and counseling is not cheap. I didn't find it out of the ordinary that nobody from the family testified on Jesse's behalf. I mean, I don't blame them. Now, understand, we have talked about loving our people when they fuck up. And maybe, just maybe, if this had been a true Cain and Abel type of situation, the family might have still have tried to rally around Jesse. I mean, shit, crimes of passion happen. But this nigga tried to kill everybody in the house and successfully ended the life of 4 of his family members and 2 motherfuckers that just so happened to be visiting at the wrong damn time. Like, you tried to kill the children. Can't nobody have your back after that. Y'all remember in the beginning I told y'all that Sister Nicole said that before all this happened, Jesse was always bitching that they didn't do enough for him when he was locked down. Way to make sure a motherfucker don't do shit for your ass now. You deserve radio silence from Everybody. 6 motherfucking people? 5 goddamn kids that you squared up on like your life was in danger? That was a violent, sadistic, audacious ass crime. Just a murderation for no damn reason. Y'all, sometimes that crazy motherfucker in the family actually does some crazy ass shit. Black people don't call the cops on their family. I mean, that's just code. And for the most part, if it ain't no blood on the wall, we not gonna call. And if you do find that you got that phone in your hand because you think maybe, just maybe today is the day this motherfucker gonna go ham, that's a family member or friend that you really gotta watch and you really need to separate yourself from. We have got to stop minimizing crazy. And I ain't talking about a little throwed off. I'm talking about that aggressive motherfucker that make you clutch your shit. You know what I'm saying? We have got to embrace and get comfortable with the fact that maybe, just maybe, that crazy, short-tempered, always grabbing they shit person one day gonna hurt somebody real bad. Then what? That nigga Jesse, he beat and stabbed his niece and nephews. How he stabbed 9-year-old Cecil in the bathroom. I'm talking about straight up squared up on this child and broke the knife off in his head and left him for dead. Then he beat and stabbed 4 more minor children. I mean, we're not talking about older kids like teenagers or nothing like that. Not that that would have been right either, but maybe he had beef with them. You know what I'm saying? Teenagers can be disrespectful. But we're talking about babies. These kids haven't even reached double digits in age. They are in their sweetest years. And he tried to take them out the game because he didn't want nobody to be able to tell what he did to his brother and his girl and his friend and his girl. How about just don't do it? How you get so mad that you gotta kill everybody? And what if he had succeeded, y'all? What if he had actually killed everybody in that house? There wouldn't have been anybody to dispute the story that it was a gang hit. The way Jesse had staged everything, this nigga probably would have gotten away with killing 6 people. Oh my lord. I feel for this family, y'all. When I read this story, all I could do was pray for healing because how in the hell do you get over something like this? It's only one way, and that's through the Lord. I pray that they are able to put the pieces of their family back together. I pray that they are able to find a sense of peace and comfort and love for the remainder of the days that they got breath in their body. And as for that fuck ass, killing ass, audacious Jesse Punk motherfucking ass, he is currently inmate number 00241-710 at the Riverbend Maximum Security Institution in Tennessee. I hope this nigga busts hell wide open with gas-soaked thongs and chaps on. I hope them niggas in the pen have made him into they bottom bitch. I hope this motherfucker never see one moment of peace as long as he's still breathing. Like, for real, I have so much animosity in my heart for this nigga. Like, I'm legit hoping that he get an infected hair bump on his balls that swells his nuts to the size of grapefruits. And when they have to incise that shit, they ain't got no lidocaine. Like, every bad, stereotypical prison thing that happens on TV, I hope that shit happen to his ass on a daily basis. May a big nigga named Tiny pound him real bad every day and twice on Sundays. Cause he deserved that and then some. Cause of course, this nigga is still yet holding on. The appeals are still working through the system because we are well past his execution date. Funky bastard. Now I want to try to end on a positive note. I don't know how you can find any positivity in this tragic ass story, but I'm gonna try. There was a reward when this killing first went down. The state offered $50,000 for information that would lead to the killer. Well, Cecil Jr. was the one that gave the information that led to the conviction of his uncle. And the governor at the time supported giving that reward to Cecil Jr. since, again, it was because of him they were able to solve the case. So I guess that's the positive note we're going to try to end on, that at least the reward went to help for the children's upbringing. Nothing is going to bring back their parents. I hope the counseling was good, and I pray for peace and love and tranquility for the rest of their days. And that, Noir Nation, is the story of the Lester Street Massacre and the villain that did it, Jessie Dotson Jr. Ooh, child, I need a bath and a Clorox and Listerine rinse, 'cause yuck. I had to burn some sage because why am I all in my feelings want to do something bad to this man? I don't know these people, but my humanity, man, my humanity, ooh, Jesus, y'all feel me? I feel you. If you have not checked out the social media channels, today would be a perfect time to slip into the group chat, honey. Let's talk about this shit. You can hook up with me and like-minded individuals at the Melanin Mayhem podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And we're at the Melanin Mayhem PC on Twitter. And don't forget about the discussion group. It's on Facebook. It's called the Melanin Mayhem Discussion Group. You should check that shit out. Thank y'all so much for rocking with your favorite country girl today. It was a tough one, but we made it through. Today, y'all, be intentional about telling your people you love them. Go hug somebody. We need more love and affection in this world today. And of course, I can't forget my Melanin Mayhem shout out. This week, I'm going to shout out Denarius Bates, who dropped a line on the Spotify comments. Denarius said, I heard about Eddie Lee on several different podcasts, but sis, you gave it to me exactly how I didn't know I needed it. You are definitely my spirit animal. Right back at you, sister girl, and thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to check out a Black Creators podcast this week, y'all. In addition to the Melody Mayhem podcast, you know what I'm saying? Because remember, we out here. And until we meet again, Noir Nation, y'all know the drill. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and if you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. It's one love, Noir Nation, and your favorite country girl is out of here. Wow.